Do you ever wonder just how much human potential falls through the cracks of our education system? I do. Way back in 1895, a schoolmaster spoke to a father of one of his students and said, "It doesn't matter what you do with him, he will never amount to anything." That very same boy went on to discover the theory of relativity and became who we know as the Nobel Prize winner and icon, Albert Einstein. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jayce, we've come a long way since then. But as a former teacher, I can tell you, not that much. We still have a long way to go. And today, we're going to talk about that. Welcome back, XDA crowd. My name is Jayce, and today we're going to talk about how to optimize the learning process for you. Yes, I'm talking about you, how you can learn faster, better, and more fun, like a kid who just discovers Lego. Today's show was inspired by my interview with Don Bora. You saw a piece of that interview with Don Bora a couple months ago, but I'd like to show you a little bit more. You see, Don is like the elder statesman of software engineering. He's been in the industry since 1991. He's knows 13 different languages. He's about as respected as you get, and he's just like a kid who's just discovered Lego when he talks about software. He loves it, but things were always not so happy for Don. You see, Don struggled as a student, getting D's and D minuses. He actually says that receiving a D minus in German was a gift because it started a process of discovering a new way to learn. I mean, let's face it, learning software engineering is bleeping hard. It's difficult, it's complex, it's abstract. So let's talk about the innovations of education when it comes to software engineering. In most cases, you spend 80% of your time learning theory, information, facts that you need to digest and get into your brain and understand, and then you only spend the last 20% of that course applying it. Maybe 10% you actually spent building an app. Maybe. Not very often though. So what about if we flip that model on its head? Not exactly, I don't want to oversimplify it, but the whole idea is that all that information and facts that you need to digest is done in a much shorter, intense period of time. No, you're not going to understand everything, you will not fully digest it, but you're not supposed to. The greatest value lies in a skill set that comes from empirical evidence. It comes from applying that theory, applying that information in a real-world environment. This is why a person like Don Bora can fail German through all of high school, then spend a few months in Germany and become conversationally fluent. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, Jayce, not everyone learns like you by actually doing. Some learn better through reading and listening. And yes, that may be true. But eventually, unless you want to live academically or have a career that's purely academic, you're going to have to apply that knowledge, where that becomes wisdom, otherwise known as empirical evidence. You know something to be true because you've done it. You've been there. You've been in the trenches. That's where your value is, and that's what people are willing to pay the most for. So why are we spending only 10 to 20% of our time in courses doing what matters most, if we're lucky? Listen to Don Bora.
When we started Mobile Makers, when I was approached to start Mobile Makers, one of the key things for me was to get the curriculum right. Was to really understand how we could apply learning and how people really learn to software engineering or to doing anything in that realm. When I was a student, I was a really terrible student. I was a really poor learner. I didn't learn the way that the traditional school systems teach students. I'm a more learn by doing type of guy. I learn on the job very, very quickly and very effectively. A great example of this is my German fluency. So I got D's, and I got the gift of a D minus in high school in German regularly. And I went to Germany, and within 6 months I was completely conversationally fluent, down to the accent and the way that they can mix up words and phrases with just a breath. So I was able to internalize all of the nuances of that skill set. Because I was immersed in it on a daily basis, and I realized that, if we could somehow apply a subtly different way of learning to the craft of, say, software engineering, something that's pretty disciplined, we might be able to be pretty effective. And that's when we brought in Adam Lupu, who was our learning architect, who basically took 20 to 30 years of learning experience, learning learning sciences knowledge and applied it to our curriculum. And that's when light bulbs went off for me big time. That's when things started to make sense for me from a facilitator and an instructor point of view.
Now for today's recommendation, I saw in the comments below where people were looking for more video tutorials in dealing with Android and Java, and I've interviewed Mark Lassoff before. He's got some new videos up that deal with Android for beginners, and they're entirely free. He does have some great paid courses on his own site and on Udemy, but in the links below there is a video series where he teaches Android for beginners completely for free here on YouTube. Thank you. Please help me out, guys, by sharing this video, like, comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Should I grow my hair out and wear ponytails or change something entirely? Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.